Is this the Krusty Krab? Okay, you guys may normally know me from Talking Tough with Pharaoh and Nunu, but I am now here with a new guest. This is a different show that I don't know the name of yet because I am clearly illiterate and stupid.
Hello, I'm Maddy. I don't know what to say.
Her YouTube channel is I don't know because she'll say it right now.
My YouTube channel is Mighty Maddy Art, and I do art videos, but it's been over a month since I posted, so wait until I upload something.
Why you screaming?
Because the mic is far away from me, so I feel like I have to.
Oh yeah, Mike is right. Mike be right about that. You making people having to scream. But today we are going to talk about salads. There are lettuce salads, spinach salads, salad salads, Caesar salads. No, I'm kidding. If you left, I'm sorry. Please come back. Don't leave.
I feel like you're mocking my vegetarian culture.
Just a little bit, you know. See, my fat ass likes Chick-fil-A, and clearly Maddy does not accept the fact that I eat Chick-fil-A.
I don't eat meat, and also Chick-fil-A hates gay people, so I can't eat there.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have broken all the rules of the gay Bible.
Gay Bible.
In Genesis 1 of verse 1, do not eat at Chick-fil-A.
They hate gay people. Apparently. I don't know the history behind it. I just heard that they hate gay people.
Yeah. Look, gay people, if a restaurant closes on Sunday, they probably don't like you. That's just
True.
that's just the point, okay?
Oh no.
But so kind of had a little bit of a mental breakdown yesterday.
I did have a mental breakdown yesterday. I told everyone about it, and I'm still not tired of talking about it.
Tell us about this mystery angerer that angered you.
I don't get angry very easily, but when I do, it's because I feel like I'm being...
That's a new Dos Equis commercial. I
What?
don't get angry very easily, but when I do...
Yes. I don't like feeling belittled. I don't like getting told that, like, I can't do something also, because that makes me immediately want to try and, like, do it.
Mm-hmm.
And... okay, so first, let me tell you the first instance that happened with this teacher who will remain nameless. We are doing a project about government, and he assigned the race, gender, and body type of all our characters, right? We had no say in it.
Was there a fat black woman?
No!
You can't just not... If you don't have a social worker, she needs to be a fat black woman, okay? Those are the greatest social workers ever. Like, y'all don't even know. They will cook you food, bring in that baked macaroni and cheese. I wouldn't know because I've never had a social worker, but I'm going off of stereotypical BET TV shows and movies. But
Okay.
Bill, this person is wrong for this.
Okay, so, like... This happened. I was lucky enough to get an Indian woman. I was like, cool, someone diverse, fun, cool, this will be great. I was lucky not to be the person who got the voter who was like white male.
I voted for Trump.
Yeah, like that guy, you know. And so I put her in a sari because she's Indian, and I wanted her to harken back to her tradition. I was like, she probably is really proud of her roots, you know? That's the kind of character I made. And he goes, I don't think the American people would elect someone who wears a sari.
I would elect somebody who was wearing the little Assassin's Creed thing. I don't know.
That is not correct. That is not politically correct
look.
in any way.
What is it called?
I don't know.
Educate me.
I don't know.
Okay, it's
but I'm not gonna call it the Assassin Creed. Dude.
Okay, it's the thing that Afghan women wear, and they just look like Assassin's Creed characters. I'm being real.
There's
okay.
like 3 different kinds of them. I know that, and that they all have different names depending on how like the style of them and how much they cover. But I don't know those names, and I don't know how to pronounce them, so I'm not gonna try and say them.
If you hadn't noticed, Maddy's like the Supergirl of this show, and I am like the Joker. I don't give a fuck. I try to give a fuck, but it just ends up my will to live just tinkers down. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, he's like, no, I don't think the American people would elects somebody who wears a sari. And then he goes, you should make her more American.
But she's Indian, though.
She's Indian. Also, America is supposed to be like the melting pot, like, of the world, right?
Diversity through unity. Wait, no. Unity through diversity.
It was one of those things where someone says something offensive and then you are so shocked of the fact that they said it out loud that you don't know what to say. You know those moments where you just kind of sit in silence for a minute and you don't know how to respond because you're like, did they just say that kind of racist thing out loud? And so that's what happened. And then later it just turned into a bunch of stuff where we were collaborating with a different class that I'm also part of, where we're doing the sound design for this other project. And he's like totally trashing the other class that I'm also part of. And when I okay, so we're doing animations in that class, right? And I said, hey, it would be easier for us to do the sound if we got to see the animations. And he was like, no.
he put the little Caesar from Planet of the Apes on it. He was like, no.
No. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. It was that movie moment. And I kept trying to press him on this issue. I was like, we're trying to do sounds for animations we've never even seen the sketches of. And he just goes, I'm not going to argue with you about this. And that was what tipped me over the edge.
This is when that teacher knew he or she fucked up.
And I was so upset. I just didn't say anything for the rest of the class. And then when he was done talking and he started walking around, I got up and left class and made an appointment with my counselor who I had not seen in a year. So you know what? That's how upset I was.
See, if people who anger Maddy, you deserve to go to hell. Satan is waiting for you. Like, there is no way you should get this woman who sounds like she's 12 angry.
I do sound like I'm 12, but I'm not 12. I just have a baby voice.
I sound like I'm 46, but I'm low-key 20.
We have, like, the weirdest, like, our voices are so different from each other. You have, like, the lowest voice, and then I
got that Barry White.
I sound like a freaking cartoon character.
Let me tell you about my angering adventures today.
Okay, I'm ready to hear
And
them.
Monday. I have this class that talks about literature, you know? It's literature. It's a literature class. Not gonna say what type of literature class, but it's a literature class, right? And all the books we read are all by white dudes except for one. He's an Afghani. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry to the Afghan people. Please do not hurt me. But we talked about Africa. And there was a point about how that there's still racism in Africa because apartheid ended in the 90s and they have a long way to go, versus America, who ended their, racist stuff in like the 60s and the
quote unquote ended their racist stuff.
Yeah, quote unquote ended.
Yeah.
Okay, personally, I hope you don't get offended, Maddy, but I had talked to this on about my other podcast that I believe 80% of all white people are racist, 10% think racism is gone, and the other 10% believe that racism is still alive and it needs to be fought.
I think you're completely right in that fact, and I'm not offended by it because
Thank
I've
you.
seen it firsthand.
Right.
And I agree. And like I grew up in a very white small town, and yeah.
Yeah, my co-host is like, what about those people who get angry? If you get angry at the fact I said that, you're probably racist.
Yeah, probably, and you're in denial. And like, I'm just saying though, like if you're white, you probably have some internalized racism, and if you like don't acknowledge it, that like just makes it worse.
For real. But so we're talking about Africa, and she's talking about this part. I said something in class. It was like they're talking about land and how I was like, a lot of the land is still being fought over and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, the president of Africa is trying to take the land from the white owners to give back to the black people. So that being said, there's not really going to be any land left for them to really bitch and moan about. And teacher butts in is like, well, she goes, she's like, well, she does the.
Is she white?
Yeah, she's white. She's like, well.
She started arguing with you about this?
And I'm like, last time I checked, my skin color is black. But she's like, well, they're so violent in Africa. And I'm like,
they're so violent in Africa, she said.
Let me go back to this news for CNN.com. White male shot up a school. White male shot up a school. White male. What? Are you kidding me? It's like, of course, they're gonna be one. Okay, I will play white devil's advocate. Okay, Of course they're violent. All right, they want their land back. And then you can't have it back, and then you make them work in diamond fields for nothing, little to a penny. I'm just shook, and then I'm like, I had to drop that knowledge on them. You see those Ty Lopez commercials? I had to drop that knowledge.
Yeah.
I was like, first off, I have rich white friends. You know, they're partially bigoted, but you know, they're good for their money. I'm only in it for the money. I don't care. I'm not selling my color, but I'm just saying, they go to Africa to party. I think it's called Lagos, Nigeria, is where they go to party, or they go to Cape Town to party. And I'm like, Africa's not just some rural, dense, you know, African booty scratcher nation. It is pretty culturally advanced. They don't have muskets or blunderbusses. They have actual assault weapons. It's not as dangerous as everybody thinks, but it's not as not dangerous as anybody thinks. It's probably just as dangerous as going to Australia or Antarctica, even though there's nothing in Antarctica. Bad analogy. I'm sorry. Don't hurt me, Antarcticans. All three of you.
All three of you Yetis.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of shook because I'm like, the whole time she's not trying to make eye contact with me or any of the other black kid in the class. She's just avoiding us, and I'm like, you do know you can ask us questions and we won't get offended.
Yeah, like they can have a discussion. It doesn't have to turn into an argument. It can be a discussion.
And the thing is, Amina, you know Amina, right?
Yes, I know her. Yeah.
She had the same class, but in the summer, and we talked about it yesterday in our sociology class. I love my sociology class. My sociology teacher is amazing. By the way, we are all in college classes. This isn't high school, okay? This is grown-up classes.
I know I sound like I'm like 12 years old, but I'm not in high school.
But yeah, and I'm just kind of shook because I'm like, I haven't even read the book yet. I've been busy. I got work like damn near every day, but it's one of those things where it's like don't try to avoid a conversation that we need to have. I mean, she clearly, you know, jumped out of her bigoted skin and said, you know, well, we all white people have white privilege. She got to that point, and I'm like, see how this goes. And she her this professor's ex-spouse doesn't believe in white privilege. And I'm like, no wonder why you're an ex.
Okay.
No wonder why you're the ex-spouse to my professor. And I'm like, the fact that I have to expect to die when I get pulled over by a police officer is not okay. That's not right. Like, if I get pulled over by a police officer, I should be like, shit, insurance, fuck, license, got it. I shouldn't think, Jesus, I'm waiting for you. Can you make me some like macaroni and nuggets when I get up there? Because I might just die right now. All right, okay, Jesus, I want some barbecue sauce on them nuggets too when I get up there, you know?
I should quit asking for too much. Like, we don't have barbecue sauce. We're out right now.
No, you're going to have to go to get that spicy barbecue. I don't want
It's like, gosh, I got to go to Costco and get some barbecue sauces.
But, and she kind of, you know, jumped out of her skin, you know, her bigoted skin, and realized, you know, damn, you know?
Yeah.
But
honestly, yeah, it's like, people won't get offended if you just turn it into a conversation and you're open-minded about the conversation,
right?
And not completely like dejecting whatever the person says. Like
our classmate, both our classmates. Her name is Amina, but I will bleep this out. She was like, they were talking about consent in one of her narrative studies class, I think it's called, and it was consent in the Hunger Games book because Peeta did something and he didn't get consent, and all the males got upset about it, and I'm like, first of all, those are creepy people if you get upset about consent.
Yeah, like, this is not a good sign, and if you're one of those people that, like, gets mad about it, then I'm like, I don't want to be around you. You make me uncomfortable.
Right, and it's like, if the consent is a yes or no. If you want to get a contract, get that contract, and like, this contract says that you are willing to sleep with me. You gotta have your lawyer on hand.
Your lawyer.
Your Jewish lawyer on hand. Those are the best lawyers.
I don't know what to say to that.
No, don't how to react. But yeah, it's one of those things where college is a different world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but March for Our Lives was last weekend.
I was really mad I couldn't go to it. I was at my stupid retail job, suffering. And actually the other day a lady came in wearing a March for Our Lives shirt.
You should have bought it off her.
And I was like, hey, March for Our Lives. And she's like, were you there? And I was like, I was here. And she was like, I'm sorry.
She looked at you like, oh my God.
She saw the death in my eyes.
But I wanted to be there too. But one thing is that I had to work. Secondly, I don't like getting out the house. Too many things go down if you leave the house. If I'm being honest, but yeah. So it was. Congratulations to those people who are fighting for what they believe in, and fuck you, conservative, racist people who think guns aren't bad. First off, they only want to take away the AR-15. I don't know what the fuck you need a military grade weapon for.
They think, okay, here's what I've heard from people. They think that if the government is bad, they can try and overthrow the government with these guns. And I'm like, dude, the government has tanks.
Yeah, they have drones. They don't need...
Like, 5 rednecks with AR-15s are going to get run over by tanks. Like, sorry.
Yeah, and I'm like, they also have drones, too.
Yeah.
Like, let me get Wally out. Hey, Wally, I'm going to need you to go bomb this motherfucker real quick.
Wally wouldn't hurt a fly.
If it was an American Wally,
American Wally.
American Wally would. But yeah, I'm like, first off, the government is already bad, okay? Secondly, no, you're not going to overthrow a damn thing, okay? That means you would have to fire up your truck, which hasn't ran in 23 fucking years, Mr. Redneck. Secondly,
the speedometer doesn't work. The brakes are kind of funky, but you bought it for $200 from your neighbor.
You were thinking about passing it down from generation to generation, but you didn't find that missing tooth woman that you thought you'd fall in love with. But it might be going down outside. But anyway.
Yeah, there's something going on.
But I don't see, like, I understand if you're a hunter, a hunting rifle, a shotgun, a pistol to protect yourself, but a damn military grade weapon, that's like saying, hey, here's $1,000, I want to buy myself a Gatling gun, minigun. The fuck are you going to do with that?
That weapon is only meant for, like, killing.
Yes.
Like, that's the only reason for it. Like, if you're a hunter, yeah, you should have a hunting gun. Yeah, you should be able to feed your family with whatever you get during, like, hunting season.
But if you're using an AR-15 to hunt, Mother Nature hates you. You are the scurvy of the earth. If you hunt with an AR-15, shook I am. But I'm not anti-gun. I plan on having a gun when I'm 21 to protect myself, my friends, and my apartment. Because I'd be damned if a motherfucker take my Xbox. You can have my food, you can have my clothes, take the money, but my Xbox is mine. I need that.
No, yeah, when I turned 21, like, I wasn't ever planning on getting a gun because they kind of scare me. But after some things, creepy things happen when you walk home at night, and when you also are a small female who probably can't defend yourself, like, for anything, because you're 5 feet tall, it's kind of like, I have pepper spray and stuff like that, but it's, I don't know.
I can't, people don't mess with me anyway because I'm big as fuck. I'm like 6'4", 240 pounds, look like the fucking Black Hulk. People don't fuck with me anyway. People don't even like to make eye contact with me, and people who are friendly enough to talk to me, bless your soul, I'm not going to answer back.
Wow.
Because this dude, when I was walking to my car today, the dude was like, he looked at me and smiled. I'm like, okay, this is a homeless man about to ask me for $1. Don't look him in the eye and walk. He tried to shake my hand. Now, as I was walking away, I thought maybe he knew me and I didn't know him. Maybe it was just going in my mind, like all the scenarios that could happen. Like, why was he trying to shake my hand? What was going on? Then I'm all like, think about how you're 12 and you're not supposed to talk to strangers. Keep walking. And I'm like, okay. But I'm like, there's a lot of homeless people, and it's sad because I want to help, but I'm close to homeless my own damn self.
Yeah, same. Like, I have rent to pay, and I don't have money for that rent.
I'm already in debt, and I'm only 20, so it's kind of one of those
We're
situations.
college kids and can't afford anything. Sorry.
Yeah, and we go to art school, so it's a lot more expensive than regular school.
It's art school. That means we won't even get a job when we get out.
Right. Depending on what major you're in. I mean, we're in digital media, so we should be okay.
Yeah, we should be.
But illustrators and painters, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Good luck.
For real. But them graphic design students irk my soul.
They're gonna make so much money too, and they're gonna stay the same. Like,
they're so, I don't know. Personally, to me, they're snobby. They just walk around, in their little cliques, and I'm like, hi. They're like, oh, you just see them walking away. I'm like, oh.
The only graphic designer I like is the person who used to be my roommate, and her and I, like, got along so well. And like I was sad when I moved out, even though I needed the cheaper rent. So like I was like, gotta go, sorry. But her and I still hang out, and she's chill. But I also feel like she doesn't socialize with any of the other graphic design major kids. So
Yeah, I mean, graphic design and digital media go together like Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson. I don't know if that's
I don't know.
actual and factual, but
Hey there.
hi.
Open this up. Let
Technical difficulties.
We're cool with
You're gonna chop
coming
this.
in here. Hey
You need to,
guys.
like, cut
Yeah,
it
I
up
could
and
chop.
chop.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can.
I'll shut that door back when I leave, but I swear I'm leaving it unlocked so they can come into the trap.
And we're back talking about salads again. We've got Asian salads, African salads, European salads, Antarctican salads, South American salads. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. Please
Okay.
don't leave. Come back. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we were talking about.
Yeah, basically the march for our lives. But it's crazy because people are so angered by one gun being banned when they literally could just ban all guns. It's one little military grade weapon. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing. And everybody shook about it.
Yeah, and like the people who argue for it, they're like, oh, the people who don't like it don't know anything about guns. And there's people who know things about guns who are like, you don't need this. And they're like, cricket noises. Like they just don't acknowledge them.
Like when they say like, you know, like they'll make an excuse talking about, well, hunters need it. Like I said before, if you're a hunter and you're using an AR-15 to kill a deer, Mother Nature will eat you up and shit you out.
You'll
in
be
that
her
one.
salad.
Yes, you will be her. Her worldly salad.
We're back to the salads.
You're right. But
We've come
don't
full
go.
circle.
Right, don't leave. It gets better, but it's just one of those things like you don't need it. Like let the military have one of those. And if they were smart, they'd be like, well, if you have a military license, you get to own this gun. But you know, the way government works, they hate us. So, but that's all I have to say. I'm sick of America. I'm sick of American people. I love America, just the people in it just make me want to lay down in a bed of needles in a coffin buried with obsidian over it, you know.
Dang.
Depression.
Depression.
Depression. But
Yeah. Well, I have a story for you, Drew.
I'm here to listen.
Okay.
I'm here.
So, Stacy Bailey, an art teacher at Texas,
Of
Texas,
course.
here we go.
Out of all
A
those,
Texas,
Texas
elementary school was
It's
suspended
Texas.
in September shortly after asking the district to establish protections for LGBTQ students and employees in its anti-discrimination policy. This week, the school said that Bailey had been put on leave for discussing her sexual orientation and her wife with students. A collective of parents is fighting to have her reinstated. This teacher was fired because she's like, wow, I love my wife.
Texas.
Texas.
It's Texas.
Okay, but here's the thing. They'll fire her about talking to her wife. And she's talking about her wife and being like, hey, we should have protection for LGBT plus students, which you should have, because I don't know if you've ever been a young queer kid in a high school, but you get bullied. I got thrown down the bus stairs once.
I would have. If that was a moment to shoot up a school, man,
No.
in a moment.
No. Oh my goodness. We had a group chat of all the out queer students at my school. We had a group chat and we would let each other know, like, this person's going around writing fag on our lockers. This person's going around and throwing rocks at our houses. Because, you know, it was like small town. Everyone knew where everyone lived.
Right.
So it was
Everybody knows everybody.
yeah, it was kind of terrifying. I remember once there was a truck going around yelling like faggot and dyke out of their window, like going past our houses, and we all like, black truck, Confederate flag, look out. Like,
The usual.
yeah, the usual. That was our
MO.
life, and like, she got fired. Like, we need protection for LGBT plus students because of those reasons. So, this just bugs me so much. Meanwhile, there are teachers like the one I'm about to tell you about.
I just want to say something. Okay, there are teachers literally sleeping with students that don't get fired, and they get reported. Nothing happens. But a teacher talks about, hey, me and my wife are going to go to the movies. insta banned, insta like you're on leave. But little Molly is sleeping with Mr. Franz.
Franz.
And everybody knows about it, even the principal. But everybody's like, well, if the police don't say anything, we won't say anything. But it's just annoying. There's too many double standards in America.
And okay, in high school, in my very small conservative town I grew up in, that was the worst place on earth.
In your country suburbs.
In the country, in the middle of a cornfield, right? I was taking a psychology class that counted as a dual enrollment course for college, and they, I guess, quote unquote, couldn't find an actual teacher, so they got the local pastor to come and teach us about psychology, kids. And so many things. He made us watch a video about abortion, about why it was bad, and like the entire class period he was like, God exists because of these reasons. Like he would just like impose his religion and impose his viewpoints on us and try to defend it.
Is he a white male?
Yes.
Why does he care about abortion when it's not his body? Last time I checked, white males have no breasts.
Because white males care about everything. They want to have a say in everything, and they think that they need to be the lead speakers in it all when they don't, and it does not involve them whatsoever. But he would do all this stuff, and I will never forget once he brought up homosexuality, and boy, there was a heated argument that went down between me and him personally. I was a very outspoken young person. I was very, very outspoken, probably because I was one of the few out kids that was not afraid.
Right.
Because I came from a pretty liberal family compared to all the other families around, so like I had a good support system. And I was like, I'm gonna fight this.
They loved you while other parents didn't love their children.
Yeah. It was I don't know. I had good parents, you know.
Conservatives, your parents don't love you, okay? They'll never love you, okay? Conservative Republicans, your parents don't love you.
So many people are gonna take that like seriously.
I don't give a fuck. They can kiss my black ass.
Okay, so I was like arguing with him about this, and he says these words, like he starts comparing it to bestiality, which no,
that's wrong.
No, because consent is key, and animals can consent, and if you like are into bestiality, you're a gross person. Okay, and he just says, and he's also like comparing it to like being like a pedophile and stuff like that. And I start arguing with him about it, and he's like, well, you know, like, no one is actually a homosexual. And I'm like, what? And he's like, you know, it's kind of like with animals, if a cat rubs up against you the right way. And I was like, the fuck you just said to me? I was speechless. I was like, did he just say?
I'd be like, gay Justice League, give me my Glock. I'm about to go in.
I didn't know what to do, and I had a bunch of friends who were on my side, but like didn't say anything because they were also equally like, what did he just say?
I'm like, I low-key would have been like, I would have challenged him by saying, God doesn't love you, Pastor.
I feel like if you're that kind of person who like has to push your ideas onto everybody, and you say to people who may like, he doesn't know like if somebody's struggling with their sexuality, struggling with accepting themselves, and maybe they're religious too, because you can be gay and be religious. There's lots of people who are like that, and you know they're trying to be like, yeah, like God, if you do believe in him, like he probably accepts me for who I am, because you know, like that's the whole Christian belief, isn't it?
I would have been low-key like, is the Bible the original Bible, Pastor? I mean, come on now. That book has been passed down for millions of years.
But then he goes up to these high schoolers and says those types of things. Does he not realize that that's probably going against the word of God? Like, by being a jackass? Like, I feel like that's one of the...
Your pastor sounds like he wears polyester, and in the Bible it says if you wear polyester, mixed fabrics, you're going to hell.
I don't think he wore polyester, but he always would come and, like, play the guitar, and he always, like, he was just, like, he had this really weird thing where he was, like, constantly smiling, even if he was talking about something that was kind of sad, and it was really unsettling.
That's... like... That sends shivers down my spine. Like, that's a gross... You're smiling while...
Yeah. he would like, he was like smiling while he was like, if a cat rubs up against you the right way, and I'm
No,
like, boy.
I can't. That's so. No words. That's so. I just imagine him. You know the, Dr. Barber from Flapjack.
No, I don't.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Barber, hold on.
You gonna pull it up?
Yeah, you're gonna. Have you ever seen Flapjack?
No.
You've
I'm
never
sorry.
seen Flapjack. But it's this weird Dr. Barber. Dr. Barber images. Is this him?
Yes. That is him.
That is
him.
disgusting.
Oh, and his kids all went to the school,
Mhm.
and they were all like, there were the one girl, she was nice, but like she also had these opinions. She just wouldn't like say out loud that she
was
thought you were trash. She would talk.
deceptively nice.
Yeah, she would just like talk about it behind your back, kind of thing. And then like the two sons, though, oh my god, one of them he was in my sociology class, and our sociology class was taught with an actual sociology professor who knew what he was talking about. And his whole goal, he said at the beginning of the semester, he's like, my whole goal is to get you guys to be more open-minded. And I remember at the end of the year, him coming over to like my table that was obviously like the most open-minded people in that class, and being like, I don't think I can do this with the students here. And I'm like, no, boy, I hear ya. Like, this is what I've lived with for years. Like, they just won't listen.
That's because they're not. They're religious Christians. They're not spiritual Christians.
I remember getting into debates in that class about poverty, and all the rich kids would be like, well, I don't, like, we all have equal opportunity. And, like, he's like, there's no, yeah.
You're working till 6?
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay, technical difficulties. We're back with fruits now. You got peaches, apricots, apples, tomatoes.
Forget
I will,
what
I
kind of
will,
fruit there
I
are.
will fight you if you say tomato is not a fruit. But
it is.
JK, please, if you're gonna leave, I'm sorry. This is the last time.
The last time, fruit salad.
Yummy, yummy.
Do you remember?
The Wiggles.
The Wiggles.
That was my childhood.
Cold spaghetti, cold spaghetti.
That dinosaur creeped me out though. She never blinked. She was just straight up like googly eyes, like glued to her fucking mask. But as you were talking about your bigoted pastor.
Oh yeah, just.
Sean, Maya needs to just record.
Again, technical difficulty.
And you want to do the sound of something?
Just chop that all out.
And we're back with meats. You got steak, T-bone,
I'm
prime
vegetarian,
ribs.
stop.
Nobody cares, Maddy.
In my good vegetarian suburbs.
In my good meatarian suburbs.
I had a vegetarian burger for lunch today, and I never had one before. And it tasted like nothing.
Of course it
It
is.
tasted like absolutely
It's
nothing.
vegetarian.
I just like smothered it in ketchup and mustard and called it good.
Like I want to make a veggie burger. Well, the closest thing I had to a veggie burger was literally a portobello mushroom cap that I just cooked like a regular burger.
That sounds good though.
It is, because I know how to whip it up in the kitchen. Call me Chef Boyard Black. But as you were talking about your, homophobic, bigoted pastor.
Okay, it's just like when we actually had like a legitimate sociology teacher who was also a psychology teacher. So I don't know why they didn't just grab him for psychology also.
Right.
Like he was just like, he looked so disheartened when he couldn't get through to anybody. And I had so many arguments with kids in that class. We had like a discussion on poverty one day, and these rich kids were like, well, everyone has the same opportunities. We don't understand why poor people are poor. And I'm like, boy. And this one kid argued with me that, like, we didn't need to give people food stamps, that we should just give them seeds to grow their own food.
First off, they need water. And
I'm
secondly,
like,
they need time.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, like, even if you could, like, get all that stuff, what about people who, like, live in apartments? Who, like, don't have houses, don't have land? And he was like, oh, you can just put them, like, in your windowsill. And I'm like, I'm not gonna grow corn stalks in my windowsill.
Yeah, I'm on a big ass watermelon hanging from my fucking windowsill while it accidentally hits a child in the fucking head.
Right? And it just led to this. First off, it led to this inside joke between me and my friends, and we called it the bedroom corn. We're like, you're hungry, just grab some of your bedroom corn. Like, it's not a big deal. And
Just low key be
like, what? Oh, you need milk? Just have a cow in your house. It's fine. Like,
I low key think rich people are the slowest people on earth. Like, if you live in a gated community, you're probably not the most intelligent person in the world. Man said, put it in a windowsill.
Put it in a windowsill.
Put him on a windowsill.
and he was, and then, like, there were people talking about, like, what if you can't afford housing? He's like, just live in your car. And I'm like, you are the most, like, he's just so stupid. And he was just like, he didn't understand why it was, like, a bad, like, I don't know. He just didn't understand why it was not a plausible thing for some people.
Right. But, you know, rich people don't have empathy.
It's none.
These are straight facts. But I'm going to randomly open this book.
I just don't know. I want to actually record something real quick here in a sec. I don't know if I don't want to cut you off.
No, we can just... We'll,
We can pause
we
it.
can pause it. We're just going to... And we're back with no food at all. No fruits, nothing. But like I said, I'm going to randomly open up this magazine and we're going to read it. All right. Aurelian, Chicago. They have 2 old white ladies in some apartment. And she has like a library mixed with a television set. And okay, this is stupid.
This is an interior design magazine that we
Yes.
found on the table. And
This-
we were like, we need discussion topics. Takes the magazine.
They literally have a fire hazard all in one. First off, you have a stove next to wood. You looking to burn your shit down. Everything's wooden, except for the floor. It's the only thing that's not wooden. Okay, we're done here with Metropolis, Metrocity.
Atrocity.
But anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. We were just talking about movies and how
Yeah.
Get Out is a good movie.
Get Out was a good movie. My sociology teacher saw it for the first time and she was losing her damn mind. It was the funniest thing ever. And I don't know why it was so funny, but it just was. It was just like, how do I put it? It was that moment she knew that the world is fucked up.
I watched it with my roommates. I made everyone watch it because I was like, this is a good movie. And they were like, and after it was done, I remember one of them said to me, I thought this movie was going to be stupid, honestly, but it was good. And I was like, what is, like, I don't know. It was so good watching it the second time with people who had not seen it before, because then I was like waiting for the reaction when like the truth got dropped. Like, what do you think?
When the first time I saw the commercial for Get Out, I was like, this is just another horror movie. It's whatever. But then they're like, another commercial came out and it was about like how white people were stealing black people. I'm like, oh shit, this might be good.
I didn't know anything about it. I don't like to watch trailers sometimes because I like to, especially for movies like that where there's like a mystery element to them. Like, I don't want to get any spoilers. And I heard that if you watch the trailer, like the full trailer, it kind of ruins some of the movie for you. So
I'm pretty sure all trailers do.
yeah, all trailers do that. But having not watched the trailer, having not really looked into it much, and then watching it for the first time, it was so good. It was so good. Yeah.
And we were also talking about Pacific Rim 2 and how people did not like it. I haven't seen it yet. I'm pretty sure if I watch it, I'll like it because I'm like, it's John Boyega.
Yeah, it's John Boyega.
You can't go wrong. You know, I wish I was John Boyega getting that kiss from Daisy Ridley.
Daisy Ridley is my wife.
Daisy Ridley is my mistress, okay?
She's my wife.
Mistress. Mistress, okay? And then I got Cardi B as my wife and Zendaya as my girlfriend.
Sometimes I look at Zendaya and be like, why can't she just, like, gay, you know?
She can't,
Like,
she just, right
yeah,
there.
like, why doesn't that happen? Have you seen The Greatest Showman?
No.
That's a good movie. That's a good musical.
You saw The Greatest Showman before you saw The Shape of Water.
I saw The Greatest Showman twice in theaters. I can't afford to go see movies that often, but I went to go see The Greatest Showman twice because of how much I loved
The
it.
Shape of Water came out before The Greatest Showman.
It did.
Maddie.
But it was gone by the time,
It
by
was?
the time I went to go see it, it wasn't gone. I was waiting because I had a friend who wanted to go see it with me. And so I was like, okay, I won't go see it without you. And then, they never contacted me to go see it. So, I should have just went to go see it. But Hugh Jackman, he just wants to sing. He just wants to sing and dance.
He did all that in Les Mis. All these women trapped their boyfriends to go see trapped their boyfriends to go see The Greatest Showman and Les Mis by saying Wolverine's in this
Wolverine's
movie.
in it, yeah.
They're like, word, all right.
I need X-Men the musical, please, and thank you.
Oh,
No, I love musicals, so I was like, I'll probably like this because it's a musical. I didn't really know that much about it. I didn't expect my depression to be cured and for my life to be better from watching that
Until
movie.
you did more research about the character and you're like, oh.
Yeah, the guy himself was an awful person, but Hugh Jackman's version of him is everything, so it's fine.
You said we're gonna get Avengers versus X-Men. I need that. I need Avengers versus X-Men in my life. My life will
Avengers
be
versus
complete.
X-Men, except it's a musical, and Hugh Jackman sings his heart out.
No musicals. Please.
Yes, a musical.
No musical. Because then I'm expecting Chris Hemsworth to sing as well.
I haven't heard him sing. I don't know how he sounds.
I don't know how any of them sound when they sing.
I want all the Chris's of Marvel to sing a song together.
About Chris.
About, who's the real Chris.
Just a rap
and they have
battle.
to fight each other.
A rap battle.
It's a rap battle.
That would be... I'd watch that.
I feel like Chris Pratt would win. I would root for Chris Evans because I love Captain America, but he wouldn't win. A rap battle? I don't know. I don't think he would...
I think Robert Downey Jr. would win the rap battle until...
But he wouldn't be... He's not a Chris. This is a battle between the Chris's.
We all know Robert Downey Jr. is going to butt in somehow.
He's just going to butt in and win the entire rap battle and destroy them all.
Right, and then low-key going to have Chadwick Boseman just as a looming shadow. Put them all to shame.
Please.
I still have yet to see Thor Ragnarok, and I heard that was good.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either, and I haven't seen the Black Panther yet, and I'm really mad that I haven't seen Black Panther. I was so excited for it.
It's so good. Oh my god, it's so good. They need to make it like E.T. and have it in theaters all year round, just for 1 year. I'd actually go see it.
Maybe when I get paid, I can talk someone into taking me. Is it still in theaters?
Yeah.
I'll talk
Probably
someone.
gonna be in theaters until Infinity War comes out.
Good. I need
Which
to
is
see
coming
it.
out next month. In a few weeks. And
It's coming. It's gonna come out the last day of our classes. I'm pretty sure.
It comes out April 27th.
Yeah, it's the last day of our classes.
It's crazy, but
All of us won't be able to take our final exams because we'll be thinking about Infinity War. We'll be having
we'll be writing
crises.
it. They'll be like, "What is this to this?" Thor and Infinity War. They'd be like, "Who is the king of flavor?" Thanos. Flavor Town.
Thanos is
Flavor Town. That was the greatest meme I've ever seen in my life.
the audience doesn't know what you're talking about though, so they're gonna be like, "What?"
I'll post it in my version.
Okay, I will.
I'll
Also
send it to you.
Send it to me so we can reference this photo. It's so
Flavor
good.
Thanos of flavors. So somebody
So
said, "I hope he
flavor.
doesn't get the flavor stone." I'm like, bruh, y'all need to chill. This is it. You better.
You better hope Thanos doesn't find the flavor stone.
Oh my goodness, this is the highlight of my damn life. Let me tell you.
And we're back to food because of Guy Fieri.
This is from iFunny. I'm salty. You said Guy Thanos?
Guy Thanos.
Thanos Fury? Hold on, I got
The
you.
Fury. The for here.
I sent it to you.
Okay.
But
I saw a thing that was like Gomorrah from oh my gosh, Guardians of the Galaxy. I had a blue sibling that tried to kill me a bunch of times, but we're fine now. And I was like, Thor, bitch, me too. Like,
like those, it'd be like those Game of Thrones memes. It was like a Star Wars one. It was like I kissed my brother, and then you got Cersei.
Yeah.
Like, that's cute. I'm like,
I haven't seen the show, but I've read the book.
Is the book?
I read the first book.
The first book, is it as bad as the show? Not as bad, like being as in quality, but as in like crazy and how everything happens.
There's a lot that happens at once, and it was hard to follow all the like because they introduced a lot of characters at once, and I was like, whoa, which one's which? Because they all have weird names too. So I was like, I don't know who anybody is.
Yeah, in one of my classes, we're reading a book about South African apartheid, and I'm not gonna keep up. That's too much culture for your boy.
Too much.
But we're ending now. Goodbye.
That was abrupt.
No, it's not going to be abrupt, but this is the nameless show that we have yet to name.
I like Perpetual Screaming, personally.
This is Perpetual Screaming Podcast.
I feel like we did a lot of screaming, like not super loud because we
Internally,
can't.
yeah.
Like internally we were screaming.
Oh, there's my alarm clock for me to get the fuck out. But this has been Perpetual Screaming Podcast. Maddy's coming out with an album, and one of the songs' name is Perpetual Screaming.
It literally is gonna be like a cool hip hop beat, and then like on top of it, I'm gonna get so many people to come into the booth and just start screaming.
You gotta add the Grin screaming as well.
I will.
But catch you later, Maddy and Pharaoh.
We out. Bye.